Zelensky can't read how Russian propaganda mixes war threats with farce. In the latest episode of his program, Vladimir Solovyov showcases a familiar cocktail for Russian television: mockery of the Ukrainian leadership, the criminal drama surrounding Igor Kolomoisky, direct military threats against Ukraine, and contempt for European leaders. For European readers, it's important to understand that behind the superficial clowning lies a rather clear political message. The war could expand, Ukraine is supposedly doomed, and Europe is weak and hypocritical. 1. Normalization of threats, Sanitary zone, strike on the Black Sea, and Agrarian Puddle. The most alarming segment is the discussion of a possible escalation of the war. Quoting former Ukrainian MP Mosiychuk, Solovyov describes scenarios, as if from a distance, that are effectively presented as realistic options for Russia's actions. The creation of a sanitary zone in the Chernihiv region, with access to positions from which drones can cover Kyiv. Cutting Ukraine off from the sea, destroying port infrastructure, turning the south into a desert without the mandatory occupation of all cities. The prospect that, as a result, Ukraine will become an agricultural puddle for grazing cattle for decades, deprived of normal exports. Formally, this is presented as someone else's assessment. He says, they understand. But the inclusion of these words on the country's leading political show effectively normalizes the discussion of the large-scale destruction of Ukraine as a rational, acceptable instrument of pressure. For the European reader, it's important. This is not a fringe conversation. This is part of a primetime discourse on a state-run television channel that simultaneously dehumanizes the Ukrainian state and prepares the audience to believe that further escalation is acceptable and even logical. Because apparently everything is heading towards a major clash, where on one side there will be Russia's global majority, the United States will join us, and on the other, the homosexual European authorities who despise their own people. Because now every European bastard is trying to tell Trump not to dare interfere in our internal affairs, as the idiots who not long ago were wagging their fingers at us and interfering in our internal affairs say. Fatten with spoons.